Good afternoon, Benjamin Hadfield. Teach me to dive, technical dive instructor in Idaho. Yeah, still Idaho. Although that might be changing. We might be have some big news on the horizon. We don't know. We'll see. Very excited. I wanted to make sure we got our Friday message out there, and I want to talk a little bit about one of the things that I hear a lot about, and that's about moving to technical diving. A lot of people ask about that. I want to be a tech diver. I'm so excited. I want to go deeper, longer, and I want to use exotic gas like hydrogen. Just kidding. Nobody uses hydrogen. But they want to use helium. They want to do those 200-foot racks, those 300-foot racks. They see these dives in New Zealand where they're doing 806 feet on a dual megalodon rebreather. Yeah, it's very cool. But the problem is here's where I kind of stop people and I'm like, wait, you've got to stop and you got to get the basics. So today's message on Friday from Teach Me to Dive, Benjamin Hadfield, technical dive instructor, is: are you doing the basics? Are you getting the basic stuff down? So I came up with a quick 6 items to think about of what you need to do and what are the biggest secrets and challenges to working with something like twin sets. And I'm a side mount diver as well, and that's my number one thing. But I dive the twin sets out of protest once in a while because there are people that want to dive twin sets. Now, twin sets is no joke. It's a lot of friggin' lead and steel and aluminum or whatever it is on your back. It's a lot of weight. So here's what I can tell you is that the divers that never learn correct functions, by the way, this is number one, the divers that never learn those correct functions in simpler setups like singles. And what I mean by this, they've never learned the basic ideas of how to manipulate and work with single tanks and be able to do demonstration quality skills. Twin sets doesn't create new problems. All it does is magnify poor skills in single tank setup. So if you can't do all these skills in a good hover, in buoyancy, and do a mastro, or you can't switch regulators and stay in that same hover, in that same buoyancy characteristic comfortably. If you can't do that in a single tank and demonstration quality, then you're not ready to move to twin sets. You need to get the skills down in twin sets, in single tanks, before you move to twin sets. So, because again, twin sets don't create new problems. All they do is magnify problems that were already there that you just didn't take the time to correct with single tanks. Well, that's the first thing. Get good at a single tank. Make sure you're in the pool that you can hover, that you can put your knees and your ankles together. You can close your eyes, you can breathe easily, and you're not floating away. That you can take a mask off, put another mask on, and stay in the same position, that you're not floating forward or backwards or you're tipping her all around and touching the bottom and crashing like a freaking Goodyear blimp. Or, you got to get these skills down. My number 2 for this: when doing any skills, single tank, side mount, twin sets, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. When doing the skills, slow down. And this means everything. If you think you're going slow, slow down even more. The more you focus on each part of the task as an individual skill, the better it will be and the more fluid it will be. If you don't have the time to do it right, well, I think we know the rest of that one. So slow down. Take your time. If you're doing a mass drill, relax. Slow down. One skill is putting your hand on your mask. One skill is putting your hand on the back of the mask. One skill is cracking the mask and filling it up. Take your time. If you're going slow, slow down. That's my number 2. So just to recap, number 1 was get the skills right in single tank and simple setups. Number 2 was slow down. Number 3, this is a tough one because we've all got 85,000 things we're going on. I do. I know I've got 18 things going through my mind at any given time. Did I leave the stove on? Should I get a puppy? Did I feed the dog this morning? Did I yell at my wife this morning? No, well, whatever it is, relax, tune the rest of the world out, relax in position and practice the simple hover. If you can't relax and hover and you're not ready for skills, the relaxed hover is one of the most significant and critical skills you can become proficient at as a technical diver. If you can't get that good trim and an even hover where you're relaxed and you're not having to kick all over the damn place, you're not ready to move to technical. Get this basic skill of hover. Now, once you get that good hover and you're comfortable, then you can start working on demonstration quality skills. Absolutely. Now, what's after that? Check your balance. If you can't put your knees and your ankles together, close your eyes and breathe for 30 seconds without falling in any direction, you are out of balance and you need to find home, your center. You don't have to do that, but you need to find that center point where you're balanced and you're not tipping all over the place. Now, sometimes it's just a matter of shifting gear around, but sometimes a little trim weight helps too. And I get you. You're, wait a minute. In twin sets, that's 90 pounds of weight and a 7-pound back plate. And that's a lot of weight. Sometimes all it takes is just a little 1 pounder here, one little 1 pounder there. Usually, with me, I found it can be as simple as adding a spool in my left pocket or moving my spool from my right pocket over to my left pocket, just balancing the weight out. Now, just move your stuff around till you get it to the point so you're in that nice balance. Make sure you find balance left to right, front to back, so you can do that zen and you can balance very nicely. The next thing is valve drills. I hear this a lot. I've got to move my tanks up. No, you don't. If your tanks are balanced and you're balanced in position, you shouldn't have to move your tanks up. Get yourself balanced. Getting back to valve drills, especially in a dry suit, I know is a pain in the arse. None of us enjoy it. Get over it. Simple trick for you. I learned this from Tracy Grubbs. He's my good friend, and he is my mentor when it comes to technical instruction. Simply take that hand, put it all the way straight out, and then come over top, and you can go a lot farther down. If you go in front of you first and then down, you're going to bunch up all those tendons, and you're not going to go as far. So just relax, put that arm all the way out there, and then reach over. You'll be able to reach way far back. You should be able to find your isolator, your valves. Now, if it's way down there, you're probably out of balance. If you had to tip yourself, and make sure you're balancing yourself with your tanks, and then before you start moving things across. So simple enough. Now, these are just a simple few basic tips and tricks and things that we teach in our Fundies class, which brings us to the most important part of all of this. Before you go into any open water with any setup like twins, dial it in the pool first. You should be able to do any of the skills in the pool comfortably first. Let me say that again. You should be able to do any of these skills in twin sets in the pool first before you ever go out into any open water. And just remember, the pool is where we learn and we teach. Open water is where we evaluate and demonstrate our proficiency in a skill. So if you can't do them in demonstration quality in a pool, then you're not ready to go to open water. It's just that simple. And I know a lot of you say, well, that's how we do this. Well, that's what Tech Fundies is for. You get in the pool and you practice and you practice and you practice and you get comfortable manipulating a valve, manipulating whatever it is, doing S drills, doing valve drills, taking tanks off, putting it back on, throwing tanks at your instructor. Don't do that, please. Don't throw tanks at instructor. They don't go very fast, so I guess it's not that big a deal. But make sure you're practicing in open water before you take all that out. Now, these are just my suggestions. I'm a tech instructor. I teach side mount. I teach twin sets. I teach it all. I will be honest. I dive twin sets begrudgingly, but just like quickly down under, just because I don't have a handgun doesn't mean I don't know how to use it. So I'm very proficient with my twin sets. I know how to use it. I dove them tech plenty of times. Got a nice balance to them, all that fun crap. And now my last point is, if you don't like twin sets, go to side mount because it's easier. But do you find what works for you? But that's my suggestions for the day. Number one was, first, make sure you practice the setups in simpler mounts first. Just get good at being in a single tank first before you try and go to twin sets or anything else. Understand how to kick. Understand what does a frog kick look like? How do I reverse frog? Make sure you can do that in a single tank, because any other setup is just going to exacerbate current problems. When you're doing skills, slow down. Make sure you relax in position. Check your balance. Make sure you do your valve drills correctly. Reach that arm out there and then over. And then finally, make sure whatever you do, try it in the pool. Again, Benjamin Hatfield, Teach Me to Dive. If you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All kinds of cool stuff like this on our channel. Interviews with amazing divers. all kinds of goods. And make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification, because you want to make sure you don't miss any of the oceanic goodness we have in store for you and the big news that we probably have coming up for you next month. Anyway, Benjamin Hadfield, Teach Me to Dive. Until next time.